Hello everyone, welcome to CodeView. This is the fourth part of our Flutter introduction series. In this part, we are going to cover how we can view our to-do, how we can edit our to-do, how to mark as done, and also how to save the to-do and come back to the previous page. These are we are going to do. You can see that when I click the to-do, we want to go to the to-do edit option and we want to change the to do or modify the to do, and also we need to mark as done and further as I told. And this is what we are going to cover in this video. So for that we are going to create a new file. It's the to do view dot let me name. Okay, in this file we will be implementing the to do view details. So I have just pasted some code. It is just the stateful widget that we get when we are using a snippet like this, and we will be giving a to do view as our widget name, and we will pass the to do object that we created earlier as a parameter to this widget. And by using the to do widget object, we will get the title and description that is passed from the previous page. And by using this, we will implement two text fields, and we have two text editing controller for this text fields. One is the title controller and the description controller. The title controller is used to display the title, and the description controller is used to display the description. And we will set the initial text as that come within our to do object. I have pasted some more code. The build method and the scaffold implementation has been, I have pasted that code. You can see that we need a screen which is similar to the one we have now, for that we are returning a scaffold first, and I am just to set in the background color as our predefined color, that is a darkest gray color. And I'm going to set an app bar where I will give the title as to do view, and also I have set the background color and other app bar options. And now you can see a new widget is a single side scroll view. I'm just going to tell it about little bit later, because after seeing its usage you will understand it well. Okay, inside that I have given a container widget, and inside the container I have given a column widget. Inside the column widget I have again used the container widget, and we have used a text field which is wrapped inside a color override. It is a user defined method. This method is used to change the color of my text field, and because the text field always use a theme, so I need to change the theme of that text field. For that I am wrapping the text field inside a theme widget. So for using that I am created a user defined method color override which receives a child widget and place it inside the theme widget and return the whole widget back. That's working of this color override method. I have defined this method because I want to change the theme of two text field, that's why. So I have used the color override method, and inside that I have given the text field as its child, and inside the text field we will be displaying our title in the first text field, and the second text field we will be displaying our description. We are using text field because the user need to change them. Okay, that's why. So I have just updated the code, and I am going to show you how it works, and after that I will explain further about the code we have written in the to do view.dat file. Okay, so you can see that a make list tile we have created it in our last part. So I am going to give an on tap property to that tile. So for each tile that comes in the screen we'll have a on tap property, and if we click on that tile we will be redirected to the next page. Okay, so we can use the navigator.push. This method is used to route to a new page. So I'm going to give the route details, so we can be routed to that page when we click the tile button. So this is the code for routing from one page to another. Please know this code. This is a very useful one. Please don't forget about this one. Okay, so I'm going to give that page name as my to do view, and also I want to pass the to do object. So it will be our to do's of index, because we need to pass the to do object to the next page. So okay, I'm going we are iterating through list, so we use the index method to select the to do. So now just click the to do. You can see that the title and description has been displayed in our page. It's pretty simple. You may think yes, it's very simple. Yeah, now you can edit the. So now I'm going to tell why we use the single child scroll view. I'm just going to remove it and show what is the difference between using a single child scroll view and not using it. Okay, then after saved, you can see that when I click the button, you can see an overflow has been gained, because it came because we didn't use a single child scroll view. The single child scroll view is used to avoid this overflow when using keyboards. Okay, please note this, it's a very useful widget. Now you can see that our description and title has been come. We can edit it, and if we click the save, it will be saved. So we can do anything. For this editing purpose, we use these two text field, and that's why we given. So you can see that the title controller has been given to the first text field, and its text has been set in our init state method. So we can see the title there. Okay, then we have given some decoration to our text field, which includes a outline border and also the hint text. Same thing has been applied for the description case also. We have given the description controller and also given the label text as description, and we need a description box a little bigger. That's why we use the max line property above the. Okay, you can see the max line property. This property is used because we need a description to be a little bigger, not to be in a single line. Okay, that's why we use this property. Then that's all about the two text field. I think it's pretty simple. You can follow up. Am I correct? And we have already given the controller as description controller, and in the init state method itself, we have initialized the two controller with the title and description that we passed from the previous page. That's why we display this one. You can see that title controller.text equal to todo.title, and also the description controller.text is equal to todo.description. This method will be called first when we pass the control to this page. So this init method will be called first. So we will get our title and description in our text field. Okay, you can see that when we click the, you can see the title and description there. That's the working. We can also have two button, a mark as done and as a save button. We have implemented it in a bottom navigation bar option of the scaffold. It is also included in the scaffold part. The whole part that is as shown in the screen, it is the bottom navigation bar part. Inside that, we will be using a container, and we have set the height as 55, and also we will be using a bottom app bar, and we have set the color for our widgets. It is a widget that is used to display the bottom navigation bar. These all things are predefined in Flutter. That's the benefits of Flutter. Okay, we have used a row widget to arrange two items horizontally, and inside that we have used an inkwell. I already mentioned that inkwell is used to give an on-top property to anything that we need in our app. We can give an on-top property very easily by wrapping it in an inkwell. So this widget is used to inside the inkwell widget, we are given a child widget. It's a text widget, and so when I click the, we'll get an alert, and just to confirm that whether we need to mark it as done or not. Okay, then you can see that inside the text widget I have given as condition. We can include condition in Dart by using dollar, and then within a curly braces, if we write conditional code, we can use conditional rendering. So in this code, I am going to check whether the studio.status is true. So if the studio.status is true, we already completed. So we can give the text as mark as not done. If the studio.status is false, then we know that the to-do has not been completed. So we need the text as mark as done. So we can swap between the two texts. That's why we have implemented the code like this. I think you can follow up. Okay, so when we click on this mark as done or mark as not done button, we will get a dialog. It's a show dialog. We have discussed it earlier, and inside that we will be showing whether you need to confirm this operation or not, and if it is clicked on no, we will just pop the dialog alert dialog. If not he was true, then we will just complement, we'll just take the complement of the status. Okay, and then we can further continue. That's all about the Marcus done. And then we have only a button that is known as a save button. This button is used to save the updated to do and go back to our page. That is the usage of this button. Okay, so we have used an icon button widget to display that icon. I already mentioned in the Flutter basics that we have a lot of icons in the Flutter. We can use the icons to use it, and also after clicking that we will pop the page that have been pushed. So the to do view page will be popped, and also we will return the saved to do back to our cold page. After the context you can see that comma to do, that to do will be passed back to our cold page. Okay, so we will pass the updated to do to our cold page. So in our cold page we can write a code to receive the to do that received from the this page. So just we need to update the code in our last page. Okay, so we can so also I forgot to tell one thing. You can see that the text field contain a onChanged property. So this onChanged property will be called even when we'll put a single character. When we put every single character on the text field, this will be called, this method will be called, and we are setting the to-do title as the property. And also the second text field, the description text field, contains the same property, onChanged property, and we are changing the to-do description every time the data has been changed. So that's why we get the our to-do object updated by using this onChanged method. Please note that method, I have forgotten to tell it above. Okay, by using that method our to do object will be updated, and we will pass it back to our cold page. Okay, here also we are changing the to do status, and our to do object will be modified accordingly. Now we can go to our previous page and receive the data that has been sent back from our cold page. So we are returning the changed to do to this page. So to receive that we write the code in our navigator.push. This road was written we were returning this code just a minute ago, and you can see that, and we are going to receive that variable to do in a temporary to do variable, let's t, and we are going to check if the returned to do is null or not, because sometimes if the user didn't modify anything and return simply, so we must look after it. Okay, so I'm going to check whether it's not null or not. If it's not null, we are going to update our to do by calling the set state method. When we use anything inside the set state method, you know that our app will be apps UI will be updated. Okay, so I'm just going to change the to do at that index with our returned to do. By this is simple code, our to do will be updated. Please note that to do's of index, the list, to do's is the list that contains the to do objects, and inside that the index, the current index will be updated with the return to do. The return to do is stored in the to do t variable. Okay, I'm going to restart app and illustrate the one. Okay, you can see that the to do has been updated. Now I'm going to change once more. Okay, just edit some title for testing. I'm just typing fresh content. Okay, okay, I'm changing the title and description. I'm going to save it. You can see that the to do has been updated. Very simple. Then this, now we have completed how to edit and view our to do. Okay, we have completed two steps. We can view our to do and also edit our to do. We can also set as mark as done. You can see that mark as done symbol has been done. In next part we will be covering how to add a new to do to our to do list. We will be using the same page we created the in our this part of video, that is the to do view pad will be used and we will reuse that page to add also. Okay, that's we will be covering in the next part. And I think you understand very well, so please keep watching, subscribe to my channel, and also share my channel. Don't miss the videos. Okay, then bye.